A callus is there for a reason. It's our body's natural protective mechanism to keep our feet safe. So to remove it entirely or aggressively, it could result in pain and more skin buildup. To find out how I safely reduce and smooth calluses for clients at my studio, continue watching this video. To soften the callus for easier removal, I soak the feet for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the client's skin type and health. The foot soak is relaxing and allows the skin to soften and makes it easier for the callus softener product to penetrate the skin. If you are at home, you can easily replicate a foot soak by filling the tub with some water and allowing your feet to soak, or doing these steps after a shower. I use a urea-based callus softener for the entirety of the foot, and where you see me put the cotton cloth, I am putting on targeted areas of potassium hydroxide callus remover. It is important to remember to deactivate the potassium hydroxide with water after a couple of minutes, as it can burn the skin. The reason why I use both in this situation is because the client has not seen me in over 1 year, so their feet need some extra work. To maintain the foot skin and nails, it is good to learn the steps of home pedicuring or see a safe pedicurist regularly. To begin, I use a sidewall tool to clean dead skin from around and underneath a nail and feel for anything that will need to be removed later, like extra nail. In an at-home pedicure case, you would probably use an orange wood stick for this step. Just gently remove any debris or buildup with the orange wood stick. The tools I use are professional tools, but a pedicure can be easily performed at home with an orange wood stick, some straight edge nail clippers, and a nail file. Make sure to wash and disinfect your tools after you use them. For the callus reduction, I've linked some resources where you can buy a foot file and callus softener. After I've clipped the nails, I use a small file to smooth the corners so they won't poke into the toes. You can use a nail file at this step. This e-file bit can be used for smoothing the free edge of the nail, further rounding the corners of the free edge, and cleaning and buffing the nail. It's a good all-around bit. I don't suggest using it at home, but if you're a professional, using a bit like this could save you a lot of time and extra handiwork. Now I've removed the plastic film and the cotton, deactivated the potassium hydroxide. Now I'm going to give the feet a good wipe and start with a FootLogix foot file. In this case, because there is a lot of skin, I start with a foot file first. Otherwise, I would use bits only. The skin with the potassium hydroxide is very slippery, so I have to work very carefully, otherwise my file will slip and might poke my client. Using a foot file is an easy and gentle method to cover a lot of ground and remove a lot of the dead built-up skin quickly. And with the potassium hydroxide-based remover, it makes my job a bit easier with thick skin, and I use it as long as my client's skin health permits. When working with a file, back and forth is fine, and so are circular motions. Pressure is important, and you also may need to rinse your file and take a break for a minute. I am very strong, but a day of pedicures really tires my arm out. The FootLogix foot file is really good because it doesn't create any heat on the client's skin and they won't become uncomfortable. Although if you do have a ticklish client, this is kind of a little bit of a ticklish thing. As you can see, I am focusing on the balls of the feet, the heels, and the side of the foot, as these are the areas with the potassium hydroxide and have the most skin. I wipe the foot and then I move on to the Deluxe podo disc. This one is an 80 grit and a size small to go over the rest of the foot, further reducing and smoothing callus. In the case of a foot with less callus, I would only do this step and the buffer bit. At home, you don't need to buy an e-file, just go to the link down below and get a good foot file and some callus softener. It's easier to get into the small areas around the toe with the size small and precisely reduce around areas with cracks in the heels, so the small is my go-to choice, and I believe it's 10 millimeters. Oh, by the way, I have my dust vent underneath me. I will link it below. Honestly, I should have taken a picture after this pedicure because it really did a good job. Although these bits are really good at reducing heat and making sure the client is not uncomfortable, it's important to go back and forth to different areas so you don't create any extra heat and cause discomfort to your client. Hey, hello, it's a brief intermission. I hope that you guys are having a good day. If you could do me a favor and like this video, it could help other people and I would truly appreciate it. Okay, bye! After this step, I wipe the foot and then I use a combination of FootLogix mousse and my cuticle oil to make a cream I buff into the skin with a buffer. This step helps hydrate and smooth the skin cells and is the secret to a long-lasting pedicure. So I go over with a buffing bit all over the foot and onto each individual toe and toenail. It really smooths down the skin, and it's also a great bit to use if you are going to add polish, just to buff the surface of the nail to make it nice and ready for polish application. It also helps reduce any cracked areas, and as you probably know, in order to heal a crack, you need to make sure that you get really into there and get out any of the dirt. So I'm really interested to know, do you guys struggle with your own at-home foot care? Do you see a professional to get your feet taken care of? What are your biggest concerns about your feet? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd be happy to answer some questions, but I also would like to know if there's any videos that I could make to help you guys with pedicures at home or something like that. And also, don't forget, your toe problem didn't happen in one day, so it's not going to be able to be fixed in one day. Regular pedicures and foot hygiene that you do yourself or by a professional pedicurist will help your feet get better, but you need to be able to remember that it's not an instant thing. Just like any other really big skin issue, you know, you've got to keep at it, be persistent, and things will come around. I just want to say thank you to you guys for watching this video. Thank you for liking this video. It really helps me out, and I will show you some final reveal shots.